Worldwide.
Monkeypox.
Shortly thereafter. Close.
All right, I started a little late, so let me just get started early. Just make sure everything works. Hi, how are you? Oops, had to push my stool in. What? Hi, everybody. Welcome. Sorry, I'm a little disheveled. It was a travel day, and I'm unshowered and unshaven. I'm a wreck, but I'm here, and I made it. I still have my trunks. I'm fine. That's a line from Joe versus the Volcano. I'm hoping that, so my computer was taking its sweet time waking back up, again, and I need to, the only thing I couldn't check until I was on the air was, whether or not audio is, I can hear what's going on. I think it will be fine. I'll let you know. I thought we'd start off today with something a little bit different. Not a lot, but a little bit. In that, oh, that didn't even transition. I have transitions. There you go. And then smoothly. There we go. That's better. Oh, my camera's all tilted. What's happened? There you go. Does that fine? Now did it fix it? Look, now it's over here. Hold on. I did it. I overcompensated. I beg your pardon. There we go. All right, we're fine. Sort of. Let's look at that up at the sliver. That's not happening. What are you doing? What are you doing to me? let's pick this. We'll move it this way a little bit. There you go. Now I fixed it. For the time being. Hi, everybody. Hey, yeah, your mom the gamer. It was nice to see you Saturday as well. It was lovely that Carl and Joyce and Ginger and Britt and Steven and everybody came down, and it was nice to meet the other Phil, friend of Ficus. Just good folks. It was a good time. Thank you, Danielle, for subscribing. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed on Twitch in a while, to do it, because you'll see our numbers dip down. It's a constant struggle. The struggle is real. If you subscribe on YouTube, you can just subscribe because it doesn't cost you anything and it just happens, whatever, which I encourage you to do because we're within game point of 35,000. That's a huge deal. That's and the fact that it's legit is a big part of this because I'm short of bots. Anyways, this is from Russia's media monitor, and this goes towards the lovely folks who were clamoring about Nato, Nazis, coming for you, Nato, Nazis. What you gonna do? We're gonna wipe out your Nazis and knock out your NATO, Nazis. You say NATO, and I say Nazi. You say Nazi. And I say, who's Patsy? NATO, Nazi, who's Patsy? All right. I don't know what I'm talking about. I definitely have not gotten enough sleep in the last few days. But there's one. Oh, hi. Hold on. I have to kiss my girl. I haven't seen her in days. Beg your pardon. Talk amongst yourselves. Hi. Love you. Sorry, I'm scruffy. Very scruffy. I'm good for exfoliating, though. Anyways, love you. I've been on the road. And my girl and my cat are all missing me. My right before the show. Hold on while I put my headphones back on. Where did they go? Right before. There we go. When I got back, Chip was like ready to greet me at the door, and Summer's working today, so we're 2 ships passing in the afternoon today until she gets back later because she's got 2 jobs today, and it's a busy household. Ethan's got homework. I brought him a smoothie. I went on a smoothie run as soon as I got back to the house, and yeah. So you don't need to know that. It's not important. Anyways, Russia. So NATO, Nazi. I don't know why I brought up Patsy, but you get me. All right. So these guys, the idea that these guys were like, it's pressure from NATO that made Putin attack. It's why Russia was getting very nervous. Apparently, the people of Russia who are protesting the war and endangering their own lives to do it in a way that, few Americans on the good side anyways, would do. These people are literally getting jailed and getting jail sentences for like 15 years for just holding up signs, and they're still doing it with the idea that there's going to be some help over the horizon. But even those people were nervous that NATO was going to knock on Russia's door. Apparently, they're as nervous about people knocking on the door as anybody else. Hype Train, level 3 Hype Train starting at Twitch. Help us out. Bits, super chats, any way you can. Support the show. I feel like I've been gone for a month and I still managed to put on shows. I did 4 shows on Friday. I'm a lunatic. So that I could have 2 nickels to rub together and feed my family. Hey, if I don't, all right. So, anyways, let's listen to what these folks say, because you gotta. It's one thing to assume how they feel about this. Let's hear what they say.
Успех должен остаться на нашей стороне. Мы не должны никому ни за.
All right, simmer down. Louder milk over here. He goes, we shouldn't allow anyone to laugh at our success.
Какие, так сказать, ковришки, дать возможность, да, над этим успехом посмеяться. По поводу того, какие у нас
Regarding
цели.
our
Я
goals,
лично, так
I'm
сказать, да, я
convinced
думаю,
this
что ни у
is
кого сомнений
our
нет. Я
land.
абсолютно уверен, что это наша земля. Это вообще
It's
это наша
definitely
земля. Не то,
our
что мы
land.
там Украина, как
It's not
форма
about
должна
Ukraine
быть. Это
and
вообще
the
наша
state which
историческая
exists.
земля.
Generally speaking,
По
it is our historical
недоразумению,
land. It ended up in the
в силу,
state
так
solely
сказать,
because of
каких-то интриг,
mistakes.
ошибок или
Misunderstandings or
предательства, оказавшиеся
treachery.
как бы, да, вот в том положении, в каком
Misunderstandings or
она
treachery.
оказалась. Но при всем при этом насчет
Meanwhile,
целей.
about our
Я
goals.
думаю, что, к сожалению, с целями
Unfortunately, the
будет
war
вот
will
так.
determine
Война
our
план
plans.
покажет. Если быть
If we are to
трезвым.
remain sober, our
Цели
goals
будут
will be based on
отформатированы
what's
ровно под
achievable.
то, подо что будут возможности. Вот что получится, то,
Whatever
то и
we
будет
can
потом
obtain
объявлено
will later
целью.
be named our
Конечно, это не
goals.
очень радостно, но я думаю,
No
что,
joy in
скорее
that,
всего,
but
вот
that's
именно
what I
примерно
believe will
так и будет
happen.
происходить. При всем при том, что стремиться, конечно, надо к тому, чтобы
We should
этот
not
украинский
strive to
вопрос
lead the Ukrainian
не оставлять
question
следующим поколениям.
for the next
Это
generation to
идеально, без
handle.
сомнений. Потому
It's
что
too
оставить
risky to leave
следующим поколениям,
this question
на
to
самом
the
деле, очень
future
рискованно, потому
generations.
что мы не знаем,
We don't
что
know
там
what
будет
the
в
next
следующих поколениях.
generation will be like.
Да, мы не знаем, что
We
за
should
поколение
be
там, да,
working on
над этим
that.
надо работать, но тем не менее.
By the way, the woman who said we should be working on that is this lady right here. She's the Russian propagandist that works at Russia Today that like pushes this conversation in the direction that Putin wants it to go. But the idea is that they're saying whatever, we'll decide what our goals are based on whatever we achieve. Instead of our goal wasn't to win the Super Bowl. After we got 7 points and they got 42 points, we'll always say our goal was 7 points. That's it. I mean, and whatever it takes to just get that, it was worth it just in the getting. I mean, it's just like the murderous ridiculousness of it all is insane. So anyways, yeah, Russia, right. Yeah, we totally meant to leave all those blown up tanks behind, Lib NNC. Exactly. Like our goal, we will say what our goal is after goal is gold. When goal is gold, then that is our goal. Our goal is whatever we are goaling at any goaling time. So the idea that these guys were like, it's NATO that is the reason, because we were nervous about them being, becoming a NATO country is bullshit. They just want to seize the territory because it's their historical land. This is straight up Nazis in Poland, straight up Sudetenland bullshit from World War II. Hype train. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. It's HAL Sparks, mega worldwide. That's right. In multiple languages. We're not afraid. Okay. So, let's, right out of the gate, if you don't mind, I'd like, usually we save the dumbest for last. But in the case of Bongholio, the great Bongholio, a man who in his deepest dreams is a mix between the Norseman and Jackass. Bongholio has a piece called "What Does It Mean to Live Free?" And I mean, just the poetry. I'm struck by the poetry of the whole thing. I'm so excited to know what it means to live free. I'm sure it has something to do with nationalizing oil and baby formula, but we'll find out. I'm very excited, and so are you.
Folks, what does it mean? What does it mean to live free?
What does it mean? A scuffle rivalist give us tips.
I don't think that's what he said. A scuffle rivalist give us tips. They got that from What Does It Mean to Live Free? All right, I'm turning off subtitles. That was terrible. Or maybe leave it on. That's funny. Okay. A scuffle rivalist. All right.
Yeah, we can do what we want, go where we want, say mostly what we want within the confines of the law.
Yeah, exactly. I know you guys want a right-wing social media site where you can just dump beheading videos and child porn on there, but nope, sorry. There's got to be a limit. It's got to be filtered at some point. So therefore, like any asshole who would have a show called Unfiltered on FEC, like FCC regulated programming like basic cable would be,
But are we really free if the government is watching our every move?
No. If they're watching your every move, you're probably under surveillance because you're a criminal.
As we do it.
Oh, as you do it? Not after the fact?
I mean, how important is our privacy?
I don't know, but you're making me a little nervous with the crazed look in your eyes. You look like somebody who's panicked that someone might either film him doing poo-poo.
Pretty darn important.
It's pretty dang.
But Dan, you're probably saying, you know, watching what we're doing isn't necessarily stopping what we do. If you're a liberal, you're probably thinking that, but.
Is that what I think? I'm good. It's good to know what I think. No, that wasn't what I was thinking.
Could the government do that if they wanted to? We're in a really dangerous place where all government needs is a reason to act now, and your freedom will vanish.
All the government needs is a reason to act, like the reasonable conclusion that you are planning to, I don't know, shoot up a school or your workplace. Are we talking about red flag laws? Or yes, the government can get a warrant because of witnesses, grand juries, judges. We have decentralized power. Of course we have that kind of thing. What the fuck's he talking about?
Like that. So how did we get here?
First of all, they can't just like that. The government is not sardonomspa.
You ever notice every single time there's an emergency or a crisis, big government swoops right in with some big idea of how to make the crisis go away?
Yeah, no. When there's a hurricane, nobody swoops in with an idea to make hurricanes go away unless they're your dumbass friend who wanted to nuke them. The rest of us just, if there's an outbreak or a tornado, the government comes in to try and save lives and help people rebuild. Yes, crisis management. After the fact, when there's a crisis, yes, they try to swoop in and fix it. All right, I don't even know where the fuck he's going with this.
You know, incredibly, this is nothing new. They've been.
Of course it's nothing new. It's asshole. It's one of the reasons we actually have a government. So we can put some of the harder parts of life on autopilot through representation so we don't all have to fuck. It's been another flood. Everybody grab your shovel. But I was in the middle of studying for my SATs. Pick up your fucking shovel. Can't we have an organization like, I don't know, a federal emergency management agency that could do this? Shut the fuck up. Do you want to be free or not?
Doing this for a long time.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
I'm proposing.
Yeah, play the rest of it. Fix the things like as a reset for a broken system that may have caused that thing.
A
Dems hijack crises to suppress freedom.
mandatory buyback. So everyone who owns a weapon of war would sell that back to the government.
The best thing we can do is reduce our dependence on fossil fuels and foreign oil because that will help us have a reliable source of energy.
All right, why are those related? Why is Beto running to be the most hard ass about guns on the Democratic side have anything to do with her standard fare about reducing our reliance on foreign oil?
Look at what happened with the tragic attack in Buffalo.
Yes, people started going, why did this kid have a fucking AR-15? Body armor. What is going on? Obviously he has the freedom to do it, but it should send up a red flag.
I mean, obviously there's going to be a lot of emotional debate about how to stop this from happening.
No, there's a lot of logical debate. It has nothing to do with the fucking emotions about it. That's if you think that only people who respond emotionally don't want people to get shot while they're at the fucking grocery just for being black. If you think that's an emotional thing, I don't know what kind of misogynistic, psychotic you would have to be to broom this into that category. Logically, we can't have a functioning country if people are allowed to go on shooting sprees against people, total strangers, just because of their race, who are just getting on with their lives. It's a terrible recipe for business, on all fucking fronts.
Again, Is there a push now to engage in mass surveillance to try and stop one of these attacks before it happens? And what does that mean for you?
I don't know. What do you mean by mass surveillance? You mean the cameras they have outside or inside a grocery store? Or just checking on who's stockpiling ammo like an asshole?
Check out this article from the Wall Street Journal suggesting that mass surveillance could be in your future right here and could stop potential future crimes if tech companies were just allowed to track user behavior using your data.
They already do. They already do. They just use it for advertising. If they could also use it to prevent people from being murdered, maybe advertisers would like that because their customer base wouldn't get killed.
Already available. Listen to this.
Right. Already available, fucko.
Quote, a plausible solution would be wrapping the whole puzzle in a specialized legal process. The algorithms would be allowed to do their job. A judge's permission would be required before a named person could be linked to an observed pattern, so government officials could take steps. The opportunity exists whether we choose to take advantage of it or not. But history suggests that sooner or later, we will take advantage of it.
Right. Or a private organization, like an offshoot of like the ACLU, or I guess a better example would be the Southern Poverty Law Center or something like that, or a victims response group will set up, families of people who've been killed in massacres will set up a private fund to have a private company buy that algorithmical data and turn it over to the police in the same way that some people bait and track down child molesters, and they aren't government officials.
Preemptive surveillance?
That's not preemptive surveillance. I know you're confused. I guess that would be emptive surveillance.
Without evidence of a crime? Folks, pay very close attention to this. In a free society, we do not investigate people in search of a crime.
No, but we do head off at the past criminology in terms of like someone stalking someone. We don't assume that all stalkers are going to be inert in their activity. As a stalker, you're allowed to walk around somebody's property as long as you don't step on the grounds. You're allowed to sit in the car across from their house and use binoculars, technically speaking. But the concern is that eventually, if that person doesn't want you to, and they consider that harassment, they can go through a process because they're afraid that at some point, you're going to get tired of sitting in your fucking car and you're going to walk up their lawn in the middle of the night and kill them.
We investigate crimes in search of the people who committed them. Investigating people in search of crimes, it sounds like something we've already seen in a movie.
Minority Report.
But let's not kid ourselves. We are arresting individuals
right.
who have broken no law.
But they will. The commission of the crime itself is absolute metaphysics. The precongs see the future, and they're never wrong.
But it's not the future if you stop it. Isn't that a fundamental paradox?
Yes, it is. You're talking about predetermination, which happens all the time.
Why'd you catch that? Because it was going to fall.
You're certain?
Yeah, but it didn't fall.
You caught it. The fact that you prevented it from happening doesn't change the fact that it was going to happen.
By the way, the movie is about the dangers of precog. And the danger of it is not that they don't catch actual criminals doing actual awful. It's that somebody in control of it manipulates it. So the parallel in this story would be somebody at Facebook or somebody at Twitter or something in their algorithm constructs a fantasy algorithmical spike around somebody else, so you're looking for them while they go kill someone. It's just fucking dumb.
Your privacy is on the brink of extinction.
By the way, all right, for fuck's sake. Dan Bongino was one of the primary investors and people behind Parler, okay? $70 terabytes of Parler users' messages, videos, and posts leaked by security researchers. Parler, a social network used to plan the storming of the U.S. Capitol last week, has been hit by a massive data scrape. Security researchers collected swaths of user data before the network went dark Monday morning after Amazon, Google, and Apple booted the platform. The scrape included user profile data, user information, which users had administration rights for specific groups within the social network. Twitter user DonkNB, who first announced about the scrape, claims that over 1 million video URLs, some deleted in private, were taken. These are original, unprocessed, raw files as uploaded to Parler with all the associated metadata. Do you understand, after all we've talked about Hunter Biden's laptop, how fucking dumb you have to be when you run a social network to have the original metadata from somebody's videos uploaded along with it onto the social media network? And it's because let's see, some of the video and image data may have some of the video and data images have geolocation information if the people had it turned on their phone, or more likely didn't have it turned off. It was included. That is to also include data from Parler's verified citizens, which include people in the Trump administration who were there on January 6th. Users of the network who verify their identity by uploading photographs of the government-issued IDs, such as driver's licenses. So all your driver's license information, your address, all that stuff, because they wanted to be verified as members, all that got dumped. And but please, asshat who ran Parler, tell us all about how our privacy is in danger because a computer program can be told to look for any kind of a pattern, any associated pattern that algorithm sees from other shooters, not just random people, and it will learn to exclude people who never amount to shooting anybody, but they'll look for specific signs, can flag something and go, hey, this guy's posting nonstop and there's an escalation and that kind of thing. You might want to take a look at it since they signed away their right to privacy when they click the user agreement. You can see it. Staff at Facebook can look through all your emails and all that shit if they think that there's fraudulent accounts or you're pretending to be somebody else or all kinds of hundreds of reasons. So they can pass that. They can now just pass that along to a special prosecutor or somebody who's in charge of this, so that the judge can take a look at it. And if they deem it to be worthwhile, they can ask for surveillance or talk to somebody about getting a red flag on somebody in general. That's the concern. And he thinks that this dumbass who was responsible for a 70 terabyte data leak from his own website is you're supposed to be concerned that a non-human, a computer, which by the way is always scanning your shit for algorithmical stuff that will boost sales for fucking, boots and hats and shirts and the upcoming holiday season and fucking Valentine's Day cards and chocolates when the holiday runs around. That thing can also be programmed to look for people who might go on a, guns blazing into a fucking grocery store.
Surveillance culture is everywhere. Its tentacles are all over.
Define culture.
And I'm concerned that tragedies like the Buffalo shooting will be used as a pretext to take away your liberty.
Yeah, you're so concerned. I can tell you're concerned. That's why you use the demo version of the security software on Parler instead of paying for the full service.
I mean, remember Biden's disinformation board, the Ministry of Truth?
Which was never called the Ministry of Truth and now no longer exists, and they have a working group around it because of all this BS.
Gary Poppins there, designed to police what they call disinformation.
From overseas and from cartels.
Well, a lot of conservatives took a victory lap this week after backlash surrounding the online videos of Tsar Nina Jankowicz forced the Biden administration to announce it was pausing the effort. Well, pausing, or are they just regrouping?
So if it's pausing because you think the board was mischaracterized, then the disinformation board is being shut down because of disinformation?
Yes, because of you, douchey.
Is that what's happening here?
So now what we're going to do is we're going to pause it and we're going to do an assessment. But the work doesn't stop. We're still going to continue the work. The DHS is still going to continue the work.
You catch that?
Yes, we all understand that. The DHS is still going to protect us from threats to homeland security, from misinformation and disinformation strategies from foreign countries like Russia and drug cartels who are trying to storm people across the fucking border, overwhelm the border. Like, the drug cartels are telling people, we can help you get across. We'll coyote you across the border. All you got to do is carry drugs. And so they're giving people like free passage if they'll do this. And the story about the border being overwhelmed in a certain place is so that they can send people through other ways, or that you're not paying attention and catching the drugs that go other directions. That's a concern. That's one of the issues that they're trying to deal with.
It doesn't stop. It's on pause. The work. Well, what work?
What I just said.
Keeping their eye on you?
No. The Department of Homeland Security is looking for threats outside the fucking country. It was in their mission statement.
Work? But how deep does a surveillance state actually run? I mean, we know about the FBI and the NSA. They've been caught spying on Americans.
No, they haven't.
President Trump to the metadata.
No, they didn't.
Scandal.
The metadata scandal? You mean the private investigator dude from that was related to one of the universities that took publicly available data and scanned it? Or are we talking about Dinesh fucking D'Souza tracking people by buying their geolocation data? Think about this. And if this asshole doesn't bring up 2,000 mules, what the fuck is he talking about?
What about other federal agencies?
Yeah. What about FEMA? What about the National Endowment for the Arts? I mean, we're gonna all end up probed by one of Mapplethorpe's bullwhips with an RFID tag in it.
Folks, how about ICE?
Yes, that terrible organization.
That agency was reportedly has created a massive network that can spy on all Americans, not just illegal immigrants. Oh, but you hear about the U.S. Postal Service too? Check out this headline from Yahoo. It's right there, right in front of you. A covert operations program monitors social media? The hell's going on?
Monitors social media posts. I got news for you. If you don't want something to be public, don't make it fucking public. What are you talking about? Again, it's super weird that people are like, all I did was post it on my social media. They have no right to look at it. Come on.
On here.
And also, ad campaigns happen like this all the fucking time.
Folks, this is crazy. And you thought they were just delivering birthday cards.
Okay, hold on one second. Can we look at this? I'm not going to look at all of his stuff, but Yahoo. Postal Service, covert. That should pull it up. April 12th, 2021 is when this article is from. The Postal Service is running a covert operation program that monitors America's social media posts. The law enforcement arm of the U.S. Postal Service has been quietly running a program that tracks and collects American social media posts, including those about planned protests, according to a document obtained by Yahoo News. The details including those about planned protests, not excluding them. I mean, if they're doing a big swipe of whatever, oh, good Lord. The details of the surveillance effort known as ICOP, or Internet Covert Option Program, have not previously been made public. The work involves having analysts trawl through social media sites to look for what the document describes as inflammatory postings and then sharing that information across government agencies. Analysts with the United States Postal Service Inspection Service Internet Covert Operations Program, ICOP, monitored significant activity regarding planned protests occurring nationally and internationally and domestically on March 20th, 2021. It says March 16th, government bullet marked as law enforcement sensitive and distributed through the Department of Homeland Security's fusion centers. Locations and times have been identified for these protests, which are being distributed across multiple social media platforms to include right-wing leaning Parler and Telegram accounts. See, this is why he's mad, because it was about like the voting crowds. A number of groups were expected to gather in cities around the globe on March 20th as part of the worldwide rally for freedom and democracy to protest everything from lockdown measures to 5G. Parler users have commented about their internet, and this is, this is him trying to get their intent to use the rallies to engage in violence. Image 3 on the right is a screenshot from Parler indicating 2 users discussing the event as an opportunity to engage in a fight and do serious damage, says the bulletin. No intelligence is available to suggest the legitimacy of these threats, it adds. The bulletin includes screenshots of posts about the protests from Facebook, Parler, Telegram, and other social media sites, includes mentioning by name, include one alleged Proud Boy, several others who are identifying details were included, but whose posts did not appear to contain anything threatening. ICOP analysts are currently monitoring these social media channels for any potential threats stemming from one of the scheduled protests and will disseminate intelligence updates as needed. I mean, again, these are public posts by people. It's like saying it's like if a postman was standing in the town square and you're just screaming that you're going to blow something up and a guy's going, I'll meet you over there at 3. They're not skimming people's emails. They're not looking at people's DMs. They're not going, they're not surveilling their fucking internet usage. The government's monitoring of America's social media is the subject of an ongoing debate inside and outside the government, particularly in recent months following a rise in domestic unrest. While posts on platforms such as Facebook and Parler have allowed law enforcement to track down, and Parler have allowed law enforcement to track down and arrest rioters who assaulted the Capitol. Oh, yeah. Parler allowed them, did they? They shared that? Oh, because it was in the terms of service of Parler, like the ones we looked at. Such data collection has also sparked concerns about the government surveilling peaceful protesters or those engaged in protected First Amendment activities. Yeah, they can't interfere with it, but they can be aware of it. And if there are people who are going to interject in the peaceful protests and start some shit, it would be nice if you were a peaceful protester to know people were talking about that. If you're a peaceful protester, you have nothing to fear. If you're just, extending your First Amendment duties, your abilities, rights, but whatever. When contacted by Yahoo News, civil liberties experts expressed alarm at the post office's surveillance program. It's a mystery, said the University of Chicago law professor Jeffrey Stone, whom President Barack Obama appointed to review the National Security Agent's bulk data collection in the wake of the Edward Snowden leaks. I don't understand why the government would go to the Postal Service for examining the internet for security issues because of some coverage about mail versus email and social media. I don't know, because it's internet postals. This seems a little bizarre. Deputy Director of the Brennan Center, that based on the very minimal information that's available online, it appears the ICOP is meant to root out misuse of the postal system by online actors, which doesn't seem to encompass what's going on here. It's not at all clear. That's because when they're looking at certain people, they're like people, that are going to mail pipe bombs and shit like that might talk shit online about doing it before or after. That's where this comes from. And after, by the way, the Trump pipe bomb dude, they upped the security arm of the Postal Service after that bullshit went down. So I don't doubt this is part of that. Postal Inspection Service is the primary law enforcement, crime prevention, and security arm of the U.S. Postal Service. As such, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service has federal law enforcement officers, postal inspectors, who enforce approximately 200 federal laws to achieve the agency's mission. Protect the U.S. Postal Services and its employees, infrastructure, and customers, enforce the laws that defend the nation's mail system from illegal or dangerous use, and ensure public trust in the mail. Okay.
To grandma and stuff like that. Apparently not. Did you think that was all? The examples are everywhere of major.
We're going back to Pegasus, right? Prism. Yeah, these are all Snowden things. U.S. Treasury amends proposal to track nearly all bank accounts. Yeah, they weren't going to do that. That was a proposal. Again, amends proposal. Never mind. Fight brews over the cost of SEC climate change rules. What? Wait a minute. Fight brews over cost of SEC climate change rules. What the fuck does that have to do with Prism, Pegasus, and the U.S. Treasury tracking all bank accounts?
Government agencies collecting and tracking information from all of us. It's not just the Postal Service or ICE. We've got the National Security Agency, the FBI, the IRS, even the SEC. Does it ever stop?
Yes, it does. If you're not, say, a hedge fund manager or mutual fund manager, or you don't run some sort of you don't work at Goldman Sachs or stuff, you're never going to have any of your shit tracked by the SEC, really. Also, the Prism and the Pegasus systems were scooping mechanisms in the event of a giant thing like Katrina or January 6th, for example. It does not give people the right to know the contents of the calls, simply using quote unquote that geolocating information, specifically the metadata in any posts you put up or phone calls made that can be triangulated from a tower, specifically to an impact event like the Boston bombing, stuff like that. But everybody else gets automatically excluded. And this, I remember they keep using the footage of, I think, Brennan or somebody being asked about, does the U.S. government collect data on all American citizens? And he was like, no, we don't, because they get it in these big wipes of a big impact event like the Boston bombing, and then they dump it if it's not related directly to the person that did it or the victims, and finding out where they were and helping to locate their families and other shit.
But that's not an infomercial. But wait, there's more. Did we mention the Capitol Police monitoring social media?
Yes, monitoring public posts on social media that say, like, it's the equivalent of Googling yourself.
The Centers for Disease Control tracking phone data, and then there's the Department of Homeland.
Track millions of phones to see if Americans followed COVID lockdown orders. Hold on a second. That's Vice. Okay. Tracked millions. Terrifying. So terrifying. CDC tracked millions of phones to see if Americans followed COVID lockdown. Newly released documents showed CDC planned to use phone location data to monitor schools and churches and wanted to use the data for many non-COVID-19 purposes too. Center for Disease Control and Prevention bought access to location data harvested from tens of millions of phones in the United States to perform an analysis of compliance with curfews, track patterns of people visiting K-12 schools, and specifically monitor the effectiveness of policy in the Navajo Nation, according to CDC documents obtained by Motherboard. The documents also show that although the CDC used COVID-19 as a reason to buy access to the data more quickly, it intended to use it for more general CDC purposes. So so Coca-Cola can buy this shit. It's for sale to anybody who wants it. Not even the highest bidder. You don't even have to be they don't sell it to just one person. Anybody can buy this data. This data is freely collected from, and this is the people who are okay with it, apparently. Location data is information on a device location sourced from the phone, which can then show where a person lives, works, and where they went. The sort of data CDC bought was aggregated, meaning it was designed to follow trends that emerged from the movements of groups of people, but researchers have repeatedly raised concern about how location data can be de-anonymized and used to track specific people. That's the problem you have is not with the CDC, because it doesn't look like they're doing that. They're checking herd behavior. The fact that this can be done is about not the CDC, but the company selling the fucking data. The documents reveal the expansive plan the CDC last year used location data from a highly controversial data broker, SafeGraph. The company the CDC paid $420,000 for access to 1 year of data, includes Peter Thiel, Captain Freedom, and former head of Saudi intelligence amongst its investors. Well, then clearly it's nefarious. Google banned the company from the Play Store in June. Let's see. The CDC used data for monitoring curfews, with the document saying that SafeGraph's data has been critical for ongoing response efforts such as hourly monitoring of activity in curfew zones or detailed counts of visits to participating pharmacies for vaccine monitoring. The documents include, are our messages working? When we say this, does it actually result in people going and getting vaccinated or staying indoors or distancing themselves, or does every time we mention it, do they get mad at us and like a toddler refuse to do it? The documents contain a long list of what the CDC describes as 21 different potential CDC use cases for data. They conclude: track patterns of those visiting K-12 school by the school and compare to 2019, compare with Epimetrics, Environmental Performance Index, if possible. Examination of the correlation of mobility patterns data and rise in COVID-19 cases. Movement restrictions. Like this was when they were like, do kids spread COVID? That they can't test it by getting a bunch of kids and putting up, like spraying it in their fucking face and see if grandma dies. They have to find out if the schools that were open resulted in more cases. So they bought the data to find out. Data that was meant to track this information, to like be sold. Examination of the effectiveness of public policy on the Navajo Nation, because they couldn't track, they didn't have it in on the health system there. At the start of the pandemic, cell phone location data was seen a potentially useful tool. Multiple media organizations, including the New York Times, used location data provided by companies in the industry to show where people were traveling to once lockdown started to lift, or highlight poor communities were unable to shelter in place as much richer ones. They bought the same fucking data. When New York Times does it, a private company with private investors buys it from a company that's private, that's somehow fine. But when the CDC does it, and uses it to check herd patterns to deal with an outbreak, that's evil. All right, fuck off with this nonsense.
And security. Chances are you may be able to avoid being spied on in the private sector, maybe. But
yeah, I'm pretty good at that stuff. I mean, sometimes I will be walking down the street and I'll see a security cam, and it's hard not to dance. No, I'm never going to be able to collect that video of me dancing, but I feel like it'd make one heck of a long-form music video one day.
But the one thing you can't escape from is a government that wants to use every agency possible.
No, they're not using every agency possible. If they were, they would just fucking spy on you. They're not. They're buying openly available for purchase data on group movements and doing analysis on them.
To keep you in line.
No, they're not. The CDC used all this data. They didn't do anything to direct people to enforce any of this shit. It was simply to see if people followed instructions from the CDC, or they were taking the threat seriously, or if later people got sick because they didn't pay attention to the guidance.
Listen, let me be clear here. I'm not suggesting tracking public social media posts is illegal, but
well, of course not, because Parler sold that data and gave it away for free.
That's not the point.
No, it's not the point. The point is, when Republicans run the government, of course they're smarter and they run it better, even though every system fails. It's just that when Democrats run it, there's more than likely a Jew sitting in front of a terminal watching everything you do.
The point is, what business does the government have monitoring your social media posts if you've done absolutely nothing wrong?
Well, they're not. They're monitoring patterns of stuff. And they're, in this particular instance, not somebody watching. You're talking about an algorithm. We're going back to the other thing. He's making an inference about something when you've absolutely done nothing wrong from this algorithmical story at the beginning, which is, by the way, an act of private industry, which, by the way, they could sell. What do you think the odds are that somebody has done the math on social media companies collecting bounties on people because they are the best way to track, the members and people related to other people? Like that they couldn't use the posted like the media postings of people before they go on the lam or disappear or go on a killing spree or something like that. And there's like a $50,000, $150,000 reward to find them or whatever, that they just go, there they are, and they just hand it over and claim the money. It's a difference. Because it's a computer program, because it's social media, because they took shit you wrote in public yourself. They took your graffiti and used it against you.
Where does the monitoring go? Is there a file somewhere?
No.
Is this the KGB?
No, it's not the KGB.
Isn't this a slippery slope?
Yes, just like eliminating Roe v. Wade. Once you remove medical privacy and a woman can be forced to keep a fetus inside her body even when it's just a cluster of cells in the very beginning, then of course the government can put an RFID chip in you because it doesn't even make your back hurt and make you eat more.
Where does all this end?
It doesn't. Someday it's going to be Star Trek and we're all going to have a little pin.
I guess we're all going to find out soon.
Thanks, dum-dum.
You see, folks, this is only the land of the free until big government decides it isn't.
big government, fuckwad. All of these situations are private industry selling shit and the government just buying the data. Every example we looked at was stuff that people gave away willingly in terms of their posts or signing up on social media and following the terms of service. We've looked at the terms of service for Truth Social and for Parler and all these sites. They all look exactly the fucking same. If they want to look at your shit, they have every right to do so. You just own your posts after the fact, but they can also sell them if they want to. And they can make business deals with people they've already made business deals with and anybody in the fucking future forever selling your posts. All of these examples he gave. Private industry gathering data that they sell to corporations so that they can sell back to you, which is why shit you were just thinking about yesterday starts showing up in the ad blocks on your, on websites you visit, when in reality it's tracked to the algorithm of what you've looked at and how other people that look at what you look at start leaning towards, which is why when I watch a lot of right-wing bullshit stuff, I start getting like ads for camo.
And you may be a threat.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
No. Again, what is this paranoid fucking bullshit? Especially from a guy who, honest to God, like, where do I find the asshole who is responsible for 70 terabytes of personal data from people on Parler getting released. Like, there's a searchable database of the shit. Everything about these people, their driver's licenses, where they were, and what time of the day they took their pictures, their videos with them, their family, their friends. All that stuff got dumped online because this motherfucker didn't give a crap about security on a site he was an investor in, a primary guy behind. Not to mention the fact that it was a dump as social media platforms go. Just like Truth Social. Same rules apply. Truth Social is just like MXM or whatever it is that or NXN or whatever the site that Junior has, that Don Jr. has, where you can get, your a news aggregate web, app or whatever. All it does is grab your fucking email and they can sell it to anybody else because that's in the TOS. And where it goes, Save America. You start getting emails from his fucking dad. And you might have to have a dummy email address to know something like that, but trust me, it's true. Yeah, good Lord. The dumber the clip, the smarter Hal Sparks viewer becomes. It's true. Well, in this particular instance, in all of these circumstances, none of these, like, he wouldn't be clamoring against this shit if Trump was in office, or even Bush for that fucking matter. It's only spooky when it's Joe Biden and George Soros is right behind him pulling the strings. Thank you, Salty Sylvester, for donating those. We're almost back up to 1,000 subscribers. We got 992. Thank you guys for helping us with the extra 20 today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. This is Hal Sparks, Mega Worldwide, and I'm happy you're here. It's funny because when I do the show on the road, there's always a level of like where I can't sort of fully pay, part of my brain is like, the internet's shit. How's the sound? What do I got to do? And so I've always got this, like, it's a distraction, so I can't fully enjoy engaging with you guys the way I normally do. And it's a bit of a hassle, yeah? Whereas now, when I'm back home, it's way easier. That said, tomorrow I will be doing the show from LA because, and I will be a sweaty mess by the time I get there as well. So I might be really unkempt tomorrow. It might be scary. Because I go to the gym at 9 a.m. I'll be done at 10, and then I just have to get straight. And I basically have to roll straight out of there and just keep driving. So hopefully I won't be too gnarly. And Hal's growing a porn stash. No, I just didn't shave. So I shaved my cheeks. I didn't, I was trying to do a little bit of a formed thing as it was coming in because I was like, I'll just let it go for a few and see what happens. So this is takes me a while. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Do we go into that? Shit. What time is it? Okay, 4 o'clock. All right. Okay. Let's deal with like a heavy serving of bullshit. Look at this nonsense. Okay, so Will interviews laptop repairman in Hunter case. This is John Paul McIsaac. Please, God, let him tell the bullshit story about the mystery FBI agents. Again, look at this set, by the way. What is happening? What kind of, like, this looks like where they used to have the cooking segments and they're like, fuck it. We're all Hunter Biden laptop. By the way, there is no Hunter Biden laptop. This guy he couldn't pick Hunter Biden out of a lineup if he wanted to. And maybe he'll name the FBI agents today. He's adding stuff to the story that makes it fall apart every single time. So I'm always up for this. This is John Paul McIsaac, the guy who, if you drop off your laptop at his repair shop and you don't come back for it in a timely fashion, he'll start looking through it.
Shortly thereafter, it became my property.
Hold on.
Shortly thereafter, it became my property. I took a look at some of the data.
Shortly thereafter, it became my property, and I took a look at some of the data. The idea that this motherfucker decides that you dropped it off and you didn't come back to get it, that it's now his. Think about this in terms of the Bongholio clip we just looked at.
I definitely saw some things that were a concern, an obscenely large amount of money being traded hands with.
Jesus Christ, like he combed through the fucking thing.
Burisma in exchange for favors from the State Department.
Bullshit.
And basically a paper.
By the way, I call bullshit on all of this. Crafted emails mixed in with real ones, real pictures mixed in with deep fakes, set up through this dipshit to be a useful idiot. Just saying it. By the way, never seen the laptop. He doesn't have a picture of it. Never took a photo of it. Never took a picture of it to show what damage was done. Never, he gave a hard drive, a SSD copy to the friend of Rudy Giuliani's lawyer to get it to him.
Yeah. And I knew that between that and the embarrassing content that was on the laptop, I needed to get this to the authorities. I want to get it to the FBI because I feel like this is the proper channel.
Right. So you called the Delaware FBI and or you went right to their office with it. You had somebody drive you over there.
But I need to do it in Albuquerque. I can't do it myself.
Why?
Too afraid to do it myself.
What the fuck? What do you mean you're too afraid to do it yourself and you had to go through Albuquerque?
So I enlisted my father to do it for me.
You enlisted your father to take the laptop to Albuquerque.
So he approached the Albuquerque field office for the FBI in early October of 2019. And he walks into an office where the FBI agent basically tells him to lawyer up, get the hell out, and don't talk about this.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. Hearsay, Your Honor. Lawyer up, and you mean because your son has stolen private property of a president of a former vice president's son? He does not have the rights to it. It was not in his possession long enough to be considered his own, and you're going to go to jail for looking through people's shit?
And this is, my dad was sitting there with a hard drive, a copy.
Yeah, you were making copies of people's private emails or allegedly private emails from hard drives allegedly dropped off by Hunter Biden. I still call bullshit on that.
Via the drives.
By the way, as far as he knows, that's Hunter Biden with a shave.
And paperwork.
What's the relationship between...
What was that edit? Hold on.
With a hard drive, a copy of the drives, and paperwork.
What's the relation...
Look at that. Look at that slice. And paperwork?
My dad was sitting there with a hard drive, a copy of the drives, and paperwork.
What's the...
Huh. A copy of the drive. So you kept a copy that you didn't give him the copy that you got from the actual hard drive. You made a copy of that copy. Get fucked.
Relationship between you and the FBI been like since that moment?
Well, my father and I were just disenfranchised. We thought there was,
Disenfranchised? You lost your FBI franchise? They came and stole your female body inspector t-shirt?
We didn't know what to do.
Well, you would go to the Delaware field office with the fucking laptop and the hard drive.
It was a month later that an FBI agent named Joshua reaches out to my father.
Yeah, this guy Joshua, he just reaches out to my father. This guy calls. He says he's from the Albuquerque field office.
In an effort to get a hold of me.
Yeah. Joshua, Special Agent Joshua.
We finally...
Yes, because Joshua isn't a name that a Russian PSYOP campaign would decide is a name that somebody involved in computers would feel is familiar.
Thought maybe somebody's going to take this seriously. So the FBI met with me at my home.
Oh, did they? So the entire FBI came over. So do you see why the details of this annoy me? The FBI met with me at my home. He was scared to go to the Albuquerque or the Delaware FBI, so he had his dad go to Albuquerque. The Albuquerque guy went, dude, that's theft. You're getting big fucking trouble. Get a lawyer, file it with a lawyer, and try to present it as something, but we can't help you. And later, Joshua calls. Was it, hold on. I think I know who it is. It was, it wouldn't happen to, he didn't look anything like Gary Busey, did he? All right, you albino jackrabbit son of a bitch, good night. Was it Mr. Joshua? Fucking hell, Joshua.
And asked me about my concerns.
Edit. What the fuck?
Met with me at my home and asked me about my concerns.
Asked me about my concerns. Like, they cut a shit ton out of that.
Then they said they were going to come and they wanted to make a forensic clone of the drive.
They can't make a forensic clone of the drive because the drive you have is not a forensic clone. Why wouldn't they just get the fucking drive from you?
When they showed up...
I found the smoking gun, Your Honor. Did the FBI want the gun? No, they came over and took a plaster mold of it. They made a rubber version.
Instead of bringing a tech guy with them, they brought a subpoena. And they're like, yeah, we're just going to take everything.
Yes, that's kind of what you should do.
And I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah, great. I'm going to keep a copy, though, and give it to Rudy's. So take everything. Subpoena for everything. They came back. Whether they're real or not, we'll talk about that later. But according to him, real FBI agents came with a subpoena for everything. Which to his mind did not include the copy of the hard drive that he passed on to Rudy Giuliani. Like, he did not give them all copies of everything that he'd made, or even the original copy at this point, but everything. Okay.
Take it all.
Take everything. Take it all, except the copy I'm going to give to Rudy.
This is exactly what I wanted in the first place.
You said your father reached out in October of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Albuquerque. If you wanted this out of your possession so desperately...
Why'd you wait so fucking long, and why didn't you go to someone else sooner, or why didn't you... And I don't know, the internet existed in 2019, right?
I believe it legally came into your possession as your property in the summer of 2017.
Well... The Hunter's lawyer said a customer dropped it, or Hunter dropped it off in 2017.
Oh, blah, 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 blah. Who said what now?
The Hunter's lawyer said a customer dropped it, or Hunter dropped it off in 2017. He dropped it off in 2019. Hunter didn't even remember when he dropped it off.
Nice.
Because he didn't fucking drop it off. So a customer dropped it off in 2017, and this guy says, what? The fuck? A customer. Dude, He doesn't even remember Hunter Biden dropping this off. Get fucked. He said a customer.
See. So you held on to the laptop for a couple of months.
Yeah. So, dude, you don't understand. McIsaac, he's trying to help you. The idea that you had it for 2 years and then it was yours makes sense. But if you dropped it off in 2019 and within months you were saying, well, this is mine now. Fuck you, buddy.
Before reaching out to the FBI.
When the impeachment trial...
August to October is the timeline right now. August of 2019, he drops it off, allegedly. A customer drops it off. And then in 2019, he's like, well, he hasn't come to pick it up. I'm going to start combing through this shit. What?
Went down. I still had my fingers crossed that the FBI was going to admit the laptop as evidence, so the White House had it for defense.
Oh, yeah. So had it for defense. Why would they need to defend themselves by attacking the son of the former president?
My heart sank when the impeachment trial concluded, and there was no sign.
Oh, he was hoping it would be used in the defense in the impeachment trial.
Of that laptop anywhere, because I had definitely seen stuff on that laptop that would have justified a phone call to Zelensky saying what happened during the former administration.
What? What? Zelensky wasn't president then. He.
Because there was a lot of money exchanging hands. There's a lot of.
Yes, legal business being done as Burisma went from one of the most corrupt companies in Europe to a fully functioning, relatively corruption-free. I don't think any company is completely corruption-free. Even a small local Delaware laptop repair shop.
Pay for play.
Your next move.
Oh, edit. Another one. Fuck, man. The legal department at Fox is cutting the shit out of this.
Exchanging hands. There's a lot of pay for play.
Your next move.
There's a lot of pay for play. Clip.
Is a move that brings a story to all of us.
August of 2020, I knew the clock was ticking, and I finally had enough. I decided to reach out to Rudy Giuliani's office directly.
And then Rudy starts revealing some of the information.
Yeah, no. There was a step. You lost a step. Did anybody notice the step that was missing? The step where he gave the hard drive that he had a copy of to Rudy, who started making copies of it that allegedly had all this stuff on it that was in violation of the subpoena that the FBI guys had allegedly had.
And immediately now, it's Russian disinformation.
Yes, it is.
Yep, besides, it was scary.
Dude, in this interview, he says a customer dropped it off, not Rudy. So meaning, were you there the day Hunter, were you there the day it was dropped off or not? Like, that is a change in the story that's enormous. And also, if you only had that fucking laptop for a couple of months, 90 days is not a window where you now own somebody's private goods that you've been, that they dropped off for repair. Also, what evidence does this asshole have that he ever called Hunter Biden, or that the phone number he had to call Hunter Biden that was on the form was actually fucking real? Or still in use, and was it just an old one snatched by Russian intelligence and put on the form because they knew it was a phone he used when he was in Europe a long time ago, and wasn't even the one he actually uses in real life or when he's just at home?
The article came out at 6:30 in the morning, and by 9:30, it was like this digital iron curtain had descended, and nobody was allowed to talk about it.
Bullshit. The story stood on the New York Post's website. Fox talked about it like crazy. It was just on social media. People recognized that it was a disinfo campaign inside the window of time where it would shift an election, and it was not enough time to verify the claims within it, so they shut it down.
Nobody could tweet it. New York Post account was blocked. Facebook was blocking it. And then...
because it's bullshit. Maybe the customer blocked it. Perhaps it was Joshua. Have we ever found Joshua? The only way to win is not to play. At any point did Joshua call you Professor Falcon? Greetings, Professor Falcon.
It started happening, Russian disinformation. And it was like this coordinated effort by mainstream and social media.
Oh, this is his lawsuit claim.
Yeah, all at the same time. My life was ruined in that process.
No, it wasn't, fucko. You just made it worse. Like, originally he was like, they started calling me a hacker and I ruined my business, and nobody... Do you think anyone in this building where he's at Fox would drop off their laptop for repairs to this asshole? Sean Hannity, give this guy your laptop to fix it. Are you sure he wouldn't just decide to take a peek? That's why he's got no fucking business anymore.
But the nation is suffering.
The nation is not suffering.
Are you a Russian asset? Are you...
No, he's not an asset. He's an asshat.
Perpetuating Russian disinformation?
I just think it's the irony, like, for the entire...
Look, fuck, man. Look at the edits in this stuff.
Russian disinformation.
I just think it's the irony, like, for the entire Cold War, there have been Mac Isaacs flying planes going after communists. And to be...
Asshole, these aren't communists. We're not talking about the fucking Soviets, dipshit.
Accused of being one of those communists, or even...
Oh, God. Fuck me.
Playing a part in that is just absurd to me.
No, it isn't. And no one thinks you're an active, useful idiot. You're a passive, useful idiot, fucko. They're taking advantage of this dickhead's disability and his loyalty to Trump. That's what this is about.
You have sued Politico, the Daily Beast, CNN, and Congressman Adam Schiff for slander. Tell me about that lawsuit.
Well, I went after Twitter originally because they labeled me a hacker. And I never thought I would have an opportunity to defend my actions or hold those accountable again. That's one reason why I sat down and I wrote my book, because I knew that.
Oh, God, the book on tape is going to be so good.
In the court of law, I was destroyed, but maybe I still had a chance in the court of public opinion. I now have a second chance to hold these people accountable, and I'm going to fight like hell to do it.
He's trying to get them to settle and pay him for creating a fake story. Can we, one more time?
A month later, that an FBI agent named Joshua reaches out to my father.
Named Joshua. Last name Joshua, first name Joshua. Just says, hey, Miss McIsaac Sr., this is Joshua, Special Agent Joshua. Code name Joshua. We have understanding that your son has hard drive, yes?
In an effort to get a hold of me.
Dude, you're in the fucking book. Why would the FBI have a hard time why would he call your dad to get a hold of you if you still had your repair shop at that point? He allegedly told them the information.
That we finally thought maybe somebody's going to take this seriously.
Again, like, they cut out all the shit. Like, I would love to see the full version of this with the stuff that they sliced out, including the 2 FBI agents that showed up. And by the way, I'm fairly certain, and this may be wrong, that he didn't make a distinction that they visited him at home before, that they came to the shop and they picked up the stuff, which why he had the shit at home is even weirder, especially after he'd made copies of the thing and was passing around. The biggest story in this is, and I don't know why nobody asks him in the press, is that if you were given they showed you a subpoena, they didn't give you a copy of the subpoena, because legally they have to give you a copy of the subpoena. So we've yet to see that. But, and I would love to see it. But they gave you a subpoena for everything involved in it. All the hard drives, all the evidence that was involved in what you've got. Like, and then you kept a hard drive. That's, that's interfering with a federal investigation. I mean, there's a myriad of laws he's admitting to breaking just in this interview. Now, I don't think he did break a law because I don't think these were real FBI agents, and I think his story is complete horseshit. But he was, you know, the whole thing was like, I was hoping it would protect him from the impeachment, and Zelensky could answer the criminal stuff that was going on when Yanukovych was fucking president. Or Poroshenko. Jesus Christ. Like, these assholes, they don't know that the clock moves forward. Fuck. The Hunter Biden investigation. Shut up. I will say, it's nice when more of this story comes out because I continue to get more and more correct about all this stuff. Have I not said from the very beginning that not only is there no Hunter Biden laptop, but the story about it arriving at this place and all that was as hinky as all the rest of it. And the fact that there's allegedly criminal activity, but also the allegations that Rudy Giuliani has made that there was, you know, like kitty diddling pictures on the hard drive, and Rudy's made multiple copies and passes them out, even if it's fake, which I believe it is. Let's say somebody makes fake, kitty diddling pictures of Hunter Biden and a younger person, a young woman, a girl, not an underage woman. It's whatever. Anyways, an underaged human being. Even if that is fake, contrived, compromise, that they've crafted, copying and disseminating it is still illegal. It's still, you're making multiple copies of and retaining copies of allegedly sex crimes and passing them out as political, to help someone's political campaign, which would be a contribution in kind equal to money exchanging hands, which that means you're selling child porn, for fuck's sake. Like, this is so dumb. I want to meet Joshua now. Who's this Joshua? That's the first name we've gotten. Mr. Joshua. I'm still convinced it was Gary Busey. I'm honest to God, it had to be Gary Busey. I'm here to pick up some evidence of Hunter Biden's alleged activities. I love it. I have a secretary. She is dynamite. But what I want you to understand, Mr. Riggs, is Joshua Hawley. Just the dickery of this. Now, I almost went into this on Friday, and I don't know how much of this will be able to stand. And a lot of it, I have a rule about trying to do things long form and do it completely. You're watching HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide. I don't clip shit out, take things out of context. It's not what I do. You post it, I do it as it's posted. That's why we look at, these clips and we can see more of the lie, more of the idiocy, more of the sales pitch, more of the fraud, because I'm not just grabbing one line that seems particularly, are we 35K yet? Did we hit 35K? Wait a second. Good times. Hold on. Did we make it? I gotta try to turn 35K. Did it round me up, or is it legit 35K? Hold on. 3510. Yay! Look at that. 35,010. Woohoo! Thank you guys so much for subscribing on the YouTube channel. The nice thing about it is it's great to have legitimate subscribers instead of these bots that everybody has, because it's really you. Right? It's 35K legit. The scruff looks good. You think so? Dance, dance, dance. It's good times. All right. Boogie, boogie. Okay. Come on now, everybody. On to 50K. That's our next goal. 50,000 people watching on my show. All right. I've never understood where that singing style came from. The play that funky music, white boy. Like somebody went, don't worry, I can sing. let me have the mic. And they went, and you sound like Bobby from Howie Mandel's bit. My name is Bobby. Do I have a chocolate milk mustache? No, that's just my hair coming in. It's fairly sparse and a little salt and peppery, but it's there. And I shaved the cheek parts of it, so you can only really see the line around here. I'm never mind. It won't last. I'll cut it off and I'll shave it off in a couple days. But I like over the weekend, I was like, I just didn't feel like shaving because I forgot my razor, and I had one of those like hotel shaving kits in my suitcase from like 2 trips ago. Like I have them in case of emergencies, and it's like one of those plastic Bic safety razors. And on Friday morning, I shaved I was shaving and it was like pulling the hair out. It was so bad. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna let it ride. I'll wait till I get home to shave. That was like one of those crap plastic, you know what I'm talking about? Like the old fashioned ones you get, Bic from 19 Cameo? Oh, yeah. Is there a Cameo in my setup? I will look at it after the show and make sure I do it. Mutton chops. Well, you know what happens is the few times I've actually grown a beard, some of you know back in the day when I actually grew out the beard or whatever, when I did shave it after I was done, I ended up shaving it in sections. So the first thing I do is shave this part, like here, so I have big mutton chops and a goatee. Then I'd shave the chin, so I have a handlebar mustache and mutton chops. That was fun. That actually didn't look half bad. I just have some connectivity issues right around here. So it doesn't quite get I have to wait a long fucking time to get it to, yeah. But, yeah, so there you go. Maybe I'll just shave the top down, like thin it out like, Eddie Murphy circa 1985, like that kind of thing. Yeah, those cheap razors, fuck, man, it was terrible. But I would, it was like, and you can hear it. Just rough. Facial hair makes me look older. Go good. Do I shave my chest? No. I wax. No. Hate shaving, so I look like Sasquatch. Yeah. It's that Cherokee blood, right? That's the thing. Like, over here, it's fine. Like, I can grow, but over here, it's whatever. It's just shy of whatever. So, yeah. Oof. Okay, so enough about my depilatory for now. But anyways, we were talking about this before I went over the weekend to go do stand-up, and we didn't get a chance to get to it. But Rudy, I don't know if you saw the clip on Twitter. He was yelling at people in the pro-Israel parade, whatever it was, that calling somebody a jackass and saying they were as demented as Biden and blah, blah, blah. Like, one of the parts of it is that he and Trump both have is that they're both very aware of their mental slippage. Everybody, you know how many people have like, oh, I'm having a senior moment. I'm getting right up there. Hold on. Hold on. How do I say something radical? Jelly greens and lies. Okay. That he and Trump both know that they're having senior moments all the time, and they're very mad because they think that that Biden made it to president and they didn't. So this is Leaky Root. Oh, hey, Hype Train. Thanks so much, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. Thumbs up. Become a Patreon supporter. We had a bunch of Patreon supporters show up at the show this weekend. It was lovely. Thank you guys for coming down. Same thing in Jackpot. We had a couple of Patreon supporters come to that show as well. Tomorrow night, I'm at the Whiskey in LA for Ultimate Jam Night. I'm hosting. I'm doing 3 songs tomorrow night, and there'll be a bunch of great people. Oh, thank you so much, Carol. 3,500 pennies. Oh, that's really sweet. $35 super chat. Bless you so much. Because for some reason, and I'll work this out, but get this out of the way. What is this doing today? 1 second. Don't. Hold on. Let's slide this up. This guy right here. And then I gotta move this down over here. And then Oh no, it's Rudy time. Look out, everybody. I don't know if Snapchat's been acting weird because I restarted my computer, so I won't be up and running. I'm sorry. Though I do believe that Ficus would look fantastic with stubble. Know what I mean? That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Maybe, hold on. Hey, what am I doing up here? How'd that happen? I got all in the wrong place, man. You moved me. You moved me. I don't know where I am. Oh, man. It feels choppy. I don't know why it's choppy, but I'm choppy all of a sudden. I don't know what the fuck happened. Come on now. Is that choppy for me, choppy for you? That's so weird, dude. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I could. We gotta fix this, man. I don't know. Something's been odd with that. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Maybe it just needs a moment to catch up. There you go. It's 60 frames a second, so it needs to go. Oops. We'll restart it. See if it works. Back. Yeah, it's being curious. Yeah, I think it might need an update. Sorry. I don't know why my little camera thing. Yeah, it's choppy today. I'll work on it because I had the system down while I was out of town, and there's a mystery. I don't know what it's doing, but it's crazy. All right, let's go. Let's see what Rudy says, and then see if we even give a shit.
Another episode of Rudy's Common Sense.
Yes, and apparently he's using the same rose filter I was accidentally using when I was in San Diego, or the camera that makes everybody pink.
And today, Common Sense is going to be a warning.
Oh, thank God. And we've got a new microphone in front of him. Like he's got an old SM57. They're running a full rig there, man. That is an XLR mic. That's all right.
Checklist.
A warning and a checklist. Great. So
a checklist.
Did somebody just sneeze in the background? Hold on.
Warning. A checklist. A check.
Yep. Somebody sneezed in the background. He was waiting for them to finish the sneeze.
Checklist to see if there is any possibility that the Department of Justice can be fair.
Oh my God. Get on with it.
Equitable, and enforce even some of the most serious laws of the United States.
Well, you're not in jail, so I guess not. We've answered our question. Let's move along.
If it involves a high-level Democrat. But here's
a heavy fucking edit. What is that? What's the note? Look at this shit. That is an old-fashioned teleprompter. That is a folding whiteboard. Glenn Beck, eat your heart out. It's the Flintstones version of Glenn Beck's set. And this side camera, what they do, just smear Vaseline on the fucking lens? Watch this.
If it involves a high-level Democrat. But here's the memo that explains the racketeering case, which should be on the front page of every newspaper in America until it's solved, until he's forced to answer for this under oath.
Terrible. It's until it's solved. The crime of the century is solved. The memo, which of course comes from a knockoff copy of Russian disinformation that you bought in Ukraine from Russian sock puppets years ago during Poroshenko's regime after Yanukovych was deposed, and the Russians were trying to get themselves back on top, and they were hoping that you would help them do it, and Donald Trump would assist. Yeah.
I love all of you, but I don't receive any respect, and that's fine, I guess.
Oh, this fucking shit? We have been 2 fucking years. They've had hundreds of thousands of documents and blah, blah, blah. And we keep seeing a picture of a photocopy of a frame of a piece of a whatever of this same shit. Also, bagmen don't bitch.
Yes. Works for you, apparently. I hope you all can do what I did. Okay. And pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years.
Excuse me, it's fro 30 years. Obviously, he's talking about haircuts.
It's really hard.
Obviously, he's talking about something else.
But don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary.
Yeah, bagmen don't give half. They give all of it. They get a little payment for carrying the bag, but they don't get to keep anything that's in the bag.
Now,
I solved it. You're welcome. Fuck you. Also, I don't believe it's real.
I'm a prosecutor.
No, you're not. You're an old fart who used to be mayor and facilitated the Russian and Chinese mob taking over New York.
Am I supposed to say I don't believe that?
Mm-hmm. Yes, because as a prosecutor, you would be using city, state, and federal funds in some cases to prosecute this. And what you would be using as evidence is a photocopy of a copied text from a hard drive that contains no metadata that proves the statement was real in the fucking first place. And because the chain of evidence and the discovery on it was so poorly handled that any first-year law student will get anything that's on the hard drive thrown out. There is nothing actionable on the hard drive. And if you ever manage to get Biden or Hunter or anybody involved in this in front of a fucking judge in a courtroom, their lawyer would just go, Your Honor, fruit of the poison tree. This all comes from a stolen, copied hard drive, which we can't even verify the full contents of. They've had they held it in their possession for 3 years. There were files copied to and from it, added things, folders added. The hard drive was renamed. There was no chain of custody on any of this. So if they found this piece of evidence because of what they say is evidence on there, we want it all thrown out. And the judge would go, oh yeah, cool. All right, next case. Fucking hell.
Is it enough for him to come and say, I didn't mean it?
Yes. Well, no, he doesn't even have to say that. His lawyer just has to go, we don't cop to that being real at all, but there's no chain of evidence to any of this shit.
I say, for 30 years, I've been robbing banks with Joe Smith.
Joe Smith. Right. Those Mormons, man.
And in fact, a bunch of banks were robbed during that period of time.
Right. And you didn't, by the way, technically speaking, you didn't say you robbed them. Also, what you define as robbery is someone working at the bank and that you don't think they deserve their salary. So you consider it kind of robbery. And none of the banks that were robbed were the ones that the guy worked at. And how else would, and he didn't tell you or say it. Someone else said he said it in an email that is a copy of an email that they say he said.
There were kind of texts showing that we had some involvement with that.
No, there aren't. There are pictures of thought bubbles that were blue and now they're gray.
But I say, I didn't really mean it. Didn't let me go?
No, they don't even have, you don't even have to do that. You can go, that's not my texts. And they go, well, you need discovery. No, you don't get to go on a fishing expedition because of information you obtain through ill-gotten means.
This is what you call
bullshit, hoo-ha, hornswoggle, garbage.
This here.
Nonsense.
Is an admission.
No, that is a piece of paper with a picture on it. And I don't even know what the fuck that is. This is what are we seeing on the screen? Fuck me. The top of a piece of paper. He's pointing it he's holding it towards the camera. I can't.
It is completely
horseshit, poppycock, horse pucky. That's right.
Absolutely admissible in a court of war.
No, I'm sorry, a court of war? Wait, what was that?
It is completely and absolutely admissible in a court of war.
A court of war. I hope you know this means law.
And it's an extraordinarily powerful and damaging piece of evidence.
No, it isn't. It's not damaging. It's not powerful. It's the same garbage you've been throwing around and showing pictures of for fucking 2 years. It means nothing. There's no chain of evidence. You can't prove he said it. Even if he said it, you can't infer a crime from it unless you have other evidence of the crime. There is none. You have the taxes of his dad. You have his taxes. Like, it's just fucking stupid.
I rarely had such damaging evidence in the RICO cases that I won.
Nonsense.
And put people in jail
Nonsense.
Sometimes for 100 years.
Oh, so those people shouldn't have been put in jail is what you're saying. Thank you.
He gives you the amount of time, 30 years. That's a long-term enterprise. RICO.
That's not paying for the family. That's not a crime. None of that is a crime. None of this is a crime. He loves all of them, so he's doing it for love. I mean, let's just understand this whole bubbles bullshit. But I love all of you, but I don't receive any respect, and that's fine, I guess. Works for you, apparently. I hope you all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. Again, not a criminal enterprise. You're just the rich son that, I guess, pays for the shutters at the lake house. It's really hard, but don't worry, unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary because he was a drug addict. That's the theory, is that he was addicted to drugs and they held on to half his salary for a time. He got it back, but they held on to it because he was snorting all of it, was the theory. None of this is a crime.
He says it. The entire family was getting schmoozed with it.
Schmoozed with it. Yeah.
It's an enterprise.
Illegal. It was RICO schmoothing. RICO schmoothe.
And he had to give half to. Well, who do you give half to? The Don, the boss.
No, you give all of it to the fucking Don, dummy.
You give half to the top guy.
No, you give all of it to the top guy. That's why he's the fucking top guy. Again, bagmen don't get to keep the bag, dum-dum. And if they do, it's after the contents have been emptied out.
Now,
you're the bagman. You get the bag. Congratulations. Bye. Bye, I love you. Hold on. I don't want to. Fine. I'll get him dinner. And let me know if you need anything when you get home. I'll have something ready for you. Okay, well then I guess not. Snuggles. See you later. Summer's got to fill in on a job where everybody's got, like, everybody who's supposed to be working the job got COVID. So she's got to, like, go in cold and run this event tonight, and it's not going to be fun. So we send our love and our support, and then when she gets home, she gets Snuggles. Just to try and make it a little bit better as best I can. Yeah, don't forget to give a thumbs up, by the way, to the stream. Give us a like. Type something below in the comments section if you feel like that, if you're watching this later. Also, there is a like a heart button sometimes when you watch later below the screen that allows you to support the show if you're watching this at another time. Please feel free. Okay, here we go.
We know that.
No, you don't.
From evidence from all over the place.
Yes, the evidence is from all over the place. The Kremlin, it's from St. Petersburg, Moscow, Siberia, wherever the Russians have a KGB outlet or a FSB outlet, or GRU, whatever the fuck it is now. How do you like on Twitch? You follow on Twitch or you subscribe on Twitch. That's how you do it. Thank you very much for asking.
We know that from the text.
No, you don't. Those aren't, those texts are not, no court would view those texts as legitimate. And any one of Hunter's lawyers, like, if you guys let any of this stuff get anywhere near evidentiary hearings, it's hilarious.
In which a...
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the, hold on. Let's see. I gotta see. Hold on one second. Where the heck is it? Okay, hold on. Let's see. I don't know how let's see. How do we, let's see. Do I have, I don't have Skype on this guy. Let me see. I don't want to call in. Yeah, I don't like, because I'm not hooked up to my Rodecaster right now because I disassembled everything. I mean, it's going to be recorded, so we'll do a part of it if we want to.
A middleman.
Yeah, I mean,
named
you can't say anything.
Eric Schwerin is constantly trying to settle accounts between what Joe's going to pay for and what his son's going to pay for. You see many houses.
Yeah, shutters, toilet fixtures.
Household expenses paid for by the son.
So what?
You see $11 million earned by Joe the first year he's out of office.
From his book?
You have a prosecutor in Ukraine that wants to come to the U.S. and testify, but we won't let him come, who says that he has every reason to believe that Joe has an offshore account, possibly two, with a woman who says she has the numbers for it.
Oh, you mean the guy who's living in Russia right now?
This woman was in danger of being killed about a year and a half ago, and we gave that information to the Justice Department.
Is she dead?
Gave it to Bill Barr.
And he did nothing because he was trying to get her killed? Because it's better if she's dead than if she actually testifies to what she's saying?
Through the Pittsburgh U.S. Attorney.
Oh, yeah. Remember the whole thing about QAnon saying that pinky rings make you a pedo? Especially if you wear them without other rings. Like, it's one thing to have every finger with rings on it, but just a pinky ring is to let everybody know. It's the old, like, it's pedo hanky code. And still Rudy got one.
Attorney. Don't know what happened to that.
Yeah, gee, I don't know. Maybe she's dead. Maybe, I mean, it's just a dead woman, right, Rudy? She was just crucial to your case. Why would you even take, like, I just forgot. I don't even know.
In fact, we gave all of our evidence to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and nobody was ever interviewed.
Huh. Maybe it's because they recognized it wouldn't stand up in court and you couldn't subpoena or get anybody because of the chain of evidence because you fucked up, Rudy? Because you touched that hard drive?
Nobody ever investigated.
I did. I've done my own investigation. By the way, I've looked at all the testimony that you guys have talked about. I've watched all your fucking shows. I've watched all the John Paul McIsaac interviews about what occurred when he got the fucking thing. I've read the articles about Keith Abloh and when the hard drive, the laptop was initially dropped off at fucking Abloh's house before all this bullshit about the repair shop.
Things like that. Like a woman who says, if you come here, I'll identify the accounts.
If you come here, I'll identify the accounts. You'll never lure me in there with your feminine wiles, lady.
I'll show you the people that helped me put the money in the Biden accounts. They were never even interviewed.
It's weird. It was almost like they tried to find them and they didn't exist.
We have a prosecutor in Ukraine who's suing Biden.
Uh-huh.
Saying that Biden got him fired because he wouldn't shut down the Burisma case. And then we have others there that say that the bribe was to Joe.
Oh, look at that cut.
There that say that the bribe was to Joe Biden.
Okay, sure.
And that the bribe was to...
You can cut to the other angle when you do an edit in the other situation, but for some reason that needed to be a hot cut.
Drop the case on the $20-30 billion Burisma company that was illegally formed, and to allow
Burisma was illegally formed?
Nikola Zlochevsky to keep $5 billion that he stole.
Uh-huh. Oh, you mean the guy who was working under Yanukovych when Burisma was actually a sock puppet company and then it leveled out and... No? We're just going to pretend that Zelensky running the place and Yanukovych running the place is exactly the same. I mean, at this point, why don't we just go back to when the USSR was running why don't we just reinstate the USSR's control over Ukraine, to the let's just pretend it's 1987 there.
And that he paid more than.
By the way, this picture is not on Hunter Biden's laptop.
Whatever you see on paper to the Bidens, sometimes it's listed as 14 million, sometimes it's 20. But then he paid a massive bribe of $50 to $100 million to President Poroshenko of Ukraine, which is maybe why the Ukrainian government is sitting on it. All this evidence is available by witnesses who would...
Yeah, all this, it's just people who used to work for Yanukovych and Vladimir Putin, and I don't know why no one will listen to them. They're lovely people. Sure, they spray poison in people's faces and disappear their enemies, and we're trying to destroy Ukraine from the inside. But, better them than that Jewish dude who's running the country and has let it become infested with Nazis.
Would testify to it in court.
Yeah, but using what evidence? Shit that will never stand up. It's a waste of fucking time.
All of it's dismissed as not true or
right. Yes, as a lie.
Russian disinformation.
Correct. It is untrue and Russian disinformation. It is your responsibility to prove otherwise. And if you're a photocopy of a single text message taken out of a chain of texts allegedly during an argument is your crucial piece of evidence, especially when you got it from this fucking bullshit laptop story, it's never going to see the light of day. You fucked up, Rudy.
Got nothing to do with Russia. I was dismissed as Russian disinformation.
No, we know you're real. We just think you're a useless idiot.
Until the New York Times and the Washington Post said everything on the hard drive was true.
No, they didn't.
Think your homeowner's insurance covers home title fraud?
No, I don't. I don't even think it covers ghost piano players hiding.
Think again.
Around me.
And neither...
Where could they be? Why is there suddenly pianos?
Does your common identity...
Why is the piano playing?
The FBI calls...
Stop the piano! I live in fear of the piano.
Title fraud, one of the fast...
Oh, shut the fuck up. Yeah. Just ads. Same houses, same graphics, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
.com. And then you've got a document.
No, you don't.
That's on my podcast, just a piece of paper.
Yeah, just a piece of paper.
That shows you laundering of over $3 million from Ukraine to...
What is this? Ralph? Latvia, European Union. There's a fax number. Request permission request. The Ukrainian PIU subject Burisma Holding Limited. Dear colleagues, Office for Prevention of Laundering of Proceeds Derived from Criminal Activity, further in text, the Latvian FIU, is currently investigating suspicious activity of Burisma Holding Limited. When is this? Yeah, 1802-2016. According to the publicly available information, publicly available information, Burisma Holding Limited and its director, Hunter Biden, he wasn't the director of Burisma, are involved in corruption affair. They are involved in corruption affair following transactions made to Burisma Holding Limited account in as Preemptive Bank, as known in Latvian FIU, from July 20th of 2012 till the July of 2015, total of $14,666,982 US dollars and 366,015 euros were received from WireLogic Technology AS as payments for loan agreements. From July of 2015 till the December of 2015, total of $1,900,000 were received from Digital Organizations LLP in the United Kingdom as payments for loan agreements. The funds were partially transferred from Burisma Holdings accounts to Devon Archer, Hunter Biden, Alan Apter, and Alexander Kvadratashvili. See attachment for partial movement of funds.
Latvia, from Latvia to Cyprus, into the account of Rosemont Seneca. You see.
Yes, apparently so. There's bunch of money coming in, over $1 billion. Some of the money that comes in, the timing is it came in and then it was time for them to get paid. So that money came in and then a couple days later they got their payment. So the idea is that money came from them and went straight into their pockets instead of as it was part of the whole $1 billion thing. It was just, they got paid. You get paid on Friday. Your boss gets, you know, a payment from an order on Monday. That has nothing to do. You didn't get money from that order. You got paid your salary or your, you know, or your fee for getting more money into the organization.
The money coming from Cyprus,
where Wilbur Ross used to work,
where it went as a loan, and then it was an actual payment, laundered by the premier laundering firm in the premier laundering firm in Ukraine.
Oh, I didn't realize. Well, I'm glad it was top notch. You want those dollars very crisp, not too much starch, or it's too hard to fold your wallet.
Right through their banks, different company names and different descriptions, and then finally it comes out.
People borrowed money to put into they took money and put it into Burisma to get investments into there because the return on the investment would be higher than the cost of the loan itself because money was so fucking cheap post 2010.
And it takes a year or two to find it because they cover it up, and accidentally, or maybe because of government process, it comes out in the trial. They didn't think there'd be people sharp enough to keep on top of it, or they hoped it would be the press that would cover it up. But we found it, and there it is.
Dun, dun, dun.
You can see it on paper, right?
You can see a Russian sock puppet writing a letter from Latvia to their buddies in Ukraine, trying to fix refix the grip that Russia had on Ukraine by chipping away at the people that were trying to help Ukraine become independent.
To my podcast, the money going right to Rosemont Seneca. Again, a firm owned by Hunter Biden, Kerry's stepson, and Devin Archer.
So what?
I don't know if you realize what's happened to you, what's been done to you.
Me? I don't know. I feel pretty good, actually. Fit. I feel good, I've been on the road a little bit, so I didn't get as much sleep, I think, this weekend. But what do you mean? What happened to me? What's happened?
And I have a fear that these people who I don't understand who they are anymore.
Yeah, me neither. Who?
Or the press that sucks up to them. And
yeah, the press sucking up to people who aren't maybe even there.
Just writes lies for them.
Yeah, for them, whoever they is them. We don't know who is them. Only they know who is them.
After lie, after lie.
After lie, after lie.
After lie.
Lie.
Does Russian collusion for 4 years and never even apologizes for it.
Well, that's because, but for Bill Barr's interference, the report would have pointed directly at money that Trump was getting from Russia and the Alpha Bank connections and his own debts as the motive for why he might be doing stuff through Deutsche Bank, as motivation for why he was doing things that favored Russia repeatedly.
Wins Pulitzer Prizes for it and doesn't give back them. They won a Pulitzer Prize for a false story.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Mr. Thought Bubble printed out.
Not only that, they won a Pulitzer Prize for a conspiracy to obstruct justice. That story is not just a story. It's a conspiracy to take out a candidate for president. And then
he was already president.
Take out a duly elected president of the United States based on false charges.
No, it wasn't. It was their attempt to report on details that were continually coming out. And then there was a bulwark against them looking into his finances, which you argued about and he argued about. And he was always going to show his taxes and all that kind of stuff. But the reason he didn't was because where there's smoke, there's fire, dum-dum.
You realize how serious that is?
No. How serious is it?
Except in our warped, woke society.
This is a woke thing now?
But if you want,
I want you to get on with it.
To catch up a little, and you want to just go to 2 that would tell you the story.
Yeah.
Here's the more recent one.
Wait, they're what?
And
okay,
it's
what? It's
episode 175.
Okay, episode.
Here it is. It's called
episode 175. Wait a minute. Hunter was taping episodes of a show, and he was releasing.
Boss of the Biden crime family. Here's the picture.
That's your episode. Again, same fucking picture. He's smoking in bed. Yes, it's a crime against humanity. With Miranda Devine, also full of shit.
Again, it's 175, and you see.
Yeah, why? Don't sell me other episodes. Explain yourself or shut the fuck up.
Miranda Devine is the.
We've watched all this stuff. I've seen this one already.
Yes, she
wrote a book. We know about using a copied hard drive from. It was copied from another hard drive that was given to Mr. Joshua.
Lays out many of these allegations and the proof of it from the hard drive.
I'm sorry. The what? It's from the what?
There's Hunter
smoking a cigarette,
demonstrating quite clearly. Well, we'll show you a bunch more photos because they're going to become relevant.
Why is him smoking in bed relevant?
Of his situation. But you go through this, you get a pretty good idea of what has to be answered if we're going to make America a democracy again.
America is a democracy. It's your party that wants it not to be one.
Because a country that doesn't have equal justice, I don't know, it's not really a democracy.
Well, any country where one of our enemies can cook up evidence and have somebody like you carry it all over the place in an attempt to take down the sitting president, which is exactly, I guess, what you are accusing others of doing, curiously enough, should, would be of concern.
Laws, it's not a republic. I don't know what it is. It's getting close to being a socialist dictatorship, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
With a half-wit as the dictator.
I'm sorry, you're one of those people who thinks Trump's still president, aren't you?
Man, if you can't figure that out, there's something really wrong with you. But now let's go through a simpler one.
Yes, in deference to him, because I'm losing interest.
One that...
yeah, get on with it. I feel like literally, I feel like I've sat down on the bus next to a dude with a notebook full of scribbles.
One that's a little easier. I don't know, maybe the others are pretty simple, but this one's really, really simple.
Really, really.
And I think this one becomes relevant now because of the horrible tragedy in Buffalo.
Oh boy.
In Buffalo, we had a terrible shooting. Motivated in large part, if not completely, by race, based on the memo, or rather a manifesto.
Yeah, it's a memo. Basically, he sent you the early copy when it was just a memo.
Left behind by the murderer. And
he didn't leave it there. He posted it online.
The issue there, and it's once again, although in this case, the motive is white racism. In Waukesha, Wisconsin, it was black racism against whites. Black Lives Matter sympathizer who drove into the Christmas crowd. We could go over different ones of these, but they all come back to, then the Democrats yell,
"What the fuck? Get on with it!"
For gun control, gun control, gun control. Gun control.
Yeah, just gun control, gun control, gun control, gun control, gun control, gun control.
The way it's enforced, gun control is useless because it's not enforced.
Well, that settles it. I mean, I seldom can you get clarity like that from another human being. You cut me to the quick, Rudy. He's solved it. it might be that we do have laws on the books and they're just not being implemented because everyone is afraid of nutcase gun manufacturers and people who stockpile weapons. That could possibly, is that not what you were saying? That's not what he was saying.
Before we decide if we need other gun control laws,
we need other gun control laws.
How about we enforce the ones that we have, and particularly in Democrat states? But there are gun laws.
Look at that. And by the way, get to something from the hard drive. What is this supposed to be?
They do exist.
Gun control? Gundam troll. He's a Gundam troll.
And in this particular case in Buffalo, whether he was a white racist or a black racist.
He was a white racist. He shot black people. I mean, there's no question. Like, he wrote a fucking manifesto.
Or Black Lives Matter guy or an Antifa guy.
Yeah, he wasn't any of those things. He was a racist white guy.
He went and he got a gun.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy in Waukesha didn't have a gun. He had a car. So we set up situations where even though people are allowed free association and freedom of movement in our country, we can also set up pylons and blockade streets on days when we have parades so assholes like that can't run over people in the future. So similar things, maybe gun control aspects would be great. Like smart guns. Like guns that, you need a finger trigger match to be able to fire. And in certain areas, they could jam guns so nobody's gun works. How about that in the future? I like it.
He bought a gun.
Right.
However.
Several. And he got some as gifts.
He had a record. Had a serious record of having threatened to kill people in the school.
A serious record of having to... By the way, remember what Bongino said about this earlier. Just keep that in mind.
Having talked about killing people and destroying people. A record that was so bad it was reported to the police.
A record? That's not... Okay.
A record that was so bad he was put in the hospital for a day and a half for evaluation.
Are we still talking about Lee Greenwood? Which record are we talking about?
And he was evaluated as dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
They had the option of putting that in his file.
Right.
They weren't required to, but they had the option to do it.
Uh-huh.
They didn't.
Because they wanted this to happen.
They did not.
They didn't?
If they did.
I thought they didn't.
And if New York were competent enough to have the system work, which is another question, because the state is dysfunctional, then he never would have gotten the gun.
Yeah, he would have. He'd just gotten it from a red state.
And if you believe in gun control, right, and you want more gun control laws, why aren't you outraged at that? Because you can have more gun control laws, and if they're not enforced, it's not going to mean anything. You have a law right now in most states.
In most states.
That says that.
What? Yes. Okay. So this is what most states have a law that says what? Let's hear it. This is a man who knows the law. Rico Suave.
A criminal?
A criminal, which this guy was not.
A person who is addicted or what?
A person who is addicted.
Was addicted.
Or was addicted.
Or
to what? Because I got to tell you, I've watched the Pentaverate like 15 times now, and I think I need help.
Person who has a history of mental problems.
What kind of problems are we talking about? Are we talking about thinking you're Napoleon Bonaparte or like yours?
Should not be allowed to buy a gun.
Okay.
That's a law.
That's a law. Person who thing and the thing and the thing. That's the law. It's different in every state, and a lot of them don't enforce them, and it doesn't give a shit. A lot of red states don't even have those, and Republicans are trying to constantly overturn those.
In, I think, every place.
Yeah, well, every place.
I
think. I don't know, but what do I know about the law?
If that law were followed correctly, if the state of New York were competent enough, governed competently enough.
Yeah, it was because there's a female governor right now. That's why.
Or
de Blasio. It's de Blasio's fault in Buffalo.
New York City.
Where the fuck? By the way, hold on. let's just see real quick. I mean, I know this is all horse shit, but. The 18-year-old man who allegedly shot and killed 10 people on Saturday afternoon in Buffalo, New York, was motivated by hate, authorities said, targeting a supermarket in the heart of a predominantly black community. 11 of the 13 people shot by the white suspect were black. Officials said among the victims, who ranged in age from 20 to 86, people grocery shopping, a heroic former police officer who tried to stop the gunman, a long-term substitute teacher, and a taxi driver who took pride in helping people. This was pure evil. Let's see. But he planned to continue his rampage, police say. When the suspect arrived at the store at 2:30, he was heavily armed, wearing tactical gear, including a tactical helmet along with plated armor, and had a camera that was live streaming his actions. He used an assault weapon, Flynn said. The suspect shot 4 people outside the grocery store, 3 fatally. Flynn said in his news release, then he entered the store, exchanged fire, blah, blah, blah. The suspect planned to continue his shooting rampage beyond the Top supermarket, saying there was some documentation he allegedly planned to target another large superstore. There was evidence that was uncovered that he had plans, had gotten out of there. It was let's see, where he got, I don't know if there's a thing about where he got the gun. He spent months plotting his attack, social media posts show. Hence the thing we saw from Bongholio earlier. The posts were made visible to a small group of people about 30 minutes before the shooting began, according to a statement from Discord. Gendron wrote in the post he went to 3 times during his visit at 12 p.m., 2 p.m., and 4 p.m. He wrote back inside the store every time he went in, noting how many black and white people were in the market, also drawing a map of the inside of the store. During his 4 p.m. Visit, he was approached by an armed security guard who asked the suspect what he was doing, going in and out of the store. He wrote, shooter told the security guard he was collecting consensus data. In hindsight, that was a close call. Shooter wrote about how he planned the attack for March 15th, but then delayed it several times. In the post, he cites online research in choosing Buffalo as his site of attack, saying that the 14208 zip code in Buffalo has a higher black population than the other locations he was considering. Shooter considered attacking a church or an elementary school, but ultimately chose a supermarket because of the number of people that go to the grocery store. Probably times we made a graph of where was who. Our deepest sympathies with good families. Dwindling size away. This is manifesto shit. He's from a town hours away from Buffalo. That's him. He made a generalized threat at high school. That's the record he's talking about. Made a generalized threat in June when he attended Susquehanna Valley Central High School in Conklin. Gromalia said Sunday, adding the threat was not racially motivated, well, to their knowledge at the time. Suspect was visited last year by state police after he did a high school project about murder-suicides. He had concern about alleged mental health issues were brought to light after he turned in the post-graduation project. He was taken into custody under the New York State's mental health law and transported to a hospital for mental health evaluation. Confirmed it was an evaluation, not an involuntary commitment, which meant he could still buy a gun. So it would not have prevented the suspect shooter from purchasing or possessing a firearm. There you go. So the law was followed. The only thing that you could argue should have been taken more seriously was that they should have done an involuntary commitment just to get that on the books because of that concern, so that he would need a special dispensation from a judge later on if he wanted to buy a gun. The why of why you are taken in on a mental health section 941 should entail that if it involves threats of violence, then you shouldn't be able to buy a gun. You shouldn't have to have an involuntary commitment about it, because if you don't have the means to carry it out, you could just be, in theory, you can go back home when you're 18 or you're younger, in theory. The suspect addressed the incident posts, writing in a post that he had to go to hospital's ER because I said the words murder-suicide to an online paper in economics class. I got out of it because I stuck with the story that I was getting out of class, and I just stupidly wrote that down. This is the reason I believe I'm still able to purchase guns. Now, I'm no former prosecutor. I've never tried a RICO case, but I sure as fuck can find evidence for my argument pretty goddamn easy just by looking it up. Now, I don't know what the fuck this dude is going to do, Rudy, to bring it back to Hunter Biden's laptop. And this is some major kiss the star gymnastics.
Was governed competently.
No, it was governed competently. Under the letter of the law, this kid knew what he was doing to avoid that part. He was aware enough of it so that he could keep, he didn't limit his ability. And it wouldn't have changed under Rudy. If anything, the law would be even more lax. These motherfuckers, Republicans they want to stop. Hold on, shit. Republicans, Let's see, 1 second. Yeah, here's hold on 1 second. There you go. This is a good example. Bill to keep guns out of the hands of domestic abusers stalled in Pennsylvania. This is from 2018. This was after Parkland. They tried to pass a law that would keep, domestic abusers and people who have a history of violence towards family members from getting guns, at least for like a 60-day hold on, just to check. Again, checking with the judge to make sure that you're not going to lose it and do something. Kind of like an extension of the 5-day or 7-day wait period. But the bill passed the Pennsylvania Senate unanimously in March, but the House version never came up for a vote. Now, after the summer recess, Democrats in the House and advocates of the bill are pushing Republican leaders to bring the bill to a vote. They didn't.
Was mayor, which is why crime went down 65%.
No, crime went down because leaded gasoline started ebbing its damage on the public psyche.
And then Bloomberg took it down even more
because all he had to do was be mayor when that happened.
The city.
It's like after a flood. I made the water recede more than any other mayor in history. Why? Well, because I became mayor right after the flood and the water just... Oh, thanks, Crazy Insane Alien. We hit 35K, and don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Thanks, everybody.
Was governed competently by honest people, not incompetently by a large number of crooks.
Again, gibberish.
Which is what New York State is now.
Fuck. Get on with the Hunter Biden stuff. How is this related?
They basically are thinking about how much money can they make for their relatives.
What? What? What are they taking out insurance on people going to grocery stores?
That's what the governor is thinking about in Buffalo. How much money for dad, for the father who has the concession on the stadium. That's what her lieutenant governor, who she picked right away, that's what he's in trouble for. You want to guess how many more of them do that? Just make a guess.
Besides you and Trump?
I'm not allowed to.
What do you mean you're not allowed to?
Now, I'm not going to say this crime would not have taken place. If the police and the hospital officials had done what they should have done and reported.
They did everything they were supposed to do. Hold on. Hold on. I want to look up something real quick. Term as mayor. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I'll have to look it up later on. Sorry, I wanted to find a story, but it's going to take me too long.
I'm going to tell you why. A bad reason.
Why?
I'm not sure New York is competent enough to have picked it up on time. Because they're more worried about taking care of themselves. And that's why the Dawn Play's got to get reformed, just like all those cities where there was record crime.
Can you just wash your hands after? Is it too much to ask? Can you just... Also, what's with the Band-Aid on your finger? It's grossing me out.
It's not all incompetence. It's a lot incompetence. It's a lot corruption. But at least there'd be a chance. There is a chance that had they reported...
They did report it.
Had they reported it...
He's not even reading. I'm bored. All right, I'm done. I'm over it. This is rambly. It was bad enough that he hasn't brought it back to Hunter Biden stuff. I'll watch the end of it at some point on my own. But for fuck's sake, I'm 20 minutes over and I don't know where the fuck he's going. Now he's fumbling with papers on his desk. Oh, get on with it, you dipshit. This is, by the way, thank the Lord Almighty, whoever you believe is beyond the great beyond, for the fact that this asshole was crucial in Trump's plan to overturn the election and reinstate himself like a third-level Xi Jinping. Thank you, Jesus, and everyone involved. Praise the Lord that the people running this thing were this fucking dumb.
It might not have happened.
You're off mic, dum-dum.
It might not have happened.
You're off mic, dum-dum.
Now, if you're asking like the president does and Schumer, every time there's a crime for more gun control laws.
Yeah, nobody cares if there's every time there's a crime. Nobody wanted to respond to Enron with tightening gun restrictions.
Don't you have to show you're applying the ones you have effectively?
They did. That's exactly what happened. As a matter of fact, I think I suggested something that might actually tighten these laws up a little bit in a way that you don't have to be forcibly committed to not be able to buy a gun, at least for a period of time. How about a 5-year limit if you're taken in on a mental health order, especially if you're young?
Don't you? Well, New York isn't. Okay. Now let me show you an example to the American people that once again proves that Biden and the Democratic Party are a group of dangerous hypocrites.
Oh, God.
And I'm going to give you just a little outline of this. Okay.
Oh, yeah. God forbid. Don't give us details. All I need is the broad strokes.
That I happen to have right here.
Jesus Christ. He got a microphone, and now he just, it's like, yabba, 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 yabba. Fucking hell. Wait a minute.
That I happen to have right here.
Snap. Anybody else? No? Rudy's common sense. Part of the common sense is if I'm looking over here and you change angles on the camera, more than likely I'm not going to magically be looking over here. Fucking hell. I don't know what he just said, and I don't care.
On October 12th.
Oh, God. Get on with it.
Of 2018.
Shut up.
Hunter Biden.
Oh, what the fuck does Hunter Biden have to do with the Buffalo shooter, you shit?
Went into a store in Delaware.
Oh, and he threw a gun in the garbage can.
And he purchased a .38 revolver.
38 revolver? That's not the gun that was thrown in the fucking dumpster.
No question about it.
Right?
No question about it.
Right. He'd never been involuntarily hospitalized for addiction. He viewed himself as an addict, but he wasn't. The idea that he was a drug addict and he bought a gun and he lied on the form because he bought a gun without telling him he was an addict. I got news for you. Addicts don't think they're addicts a lot of times. Also, he shook it. It's not still using crack. There might be an argument.
We'll take a short break.
Oh, fuck you. You don't get to tee up 38 special and... I can't. This guy was the president's lawyer. I don't even. Then file charges for misdemeanor lying on a gun purchase form for addiction. This kid did not shoot up a store because he was addicted to fucking crack or smoking in the bathtub or in bed, or a sex addict, you dumb. By the way, I would, for the record, I'm fairly certain if we're going to worry about addicts, sex addicts are the least of our worries, because, none of those people want to go out with a bang, if you know what I'm saying. Oh God, this is terrible. And I had so many other videos too. That's the problem. You're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide, by the way. I do these things long form because I don't want everybody to look, Summer's busy and I got a little bit of time. She's out of the house, so otherwise I'd dump the show and run right up and just, hug on her. But I could throw in one more if it doesn't bother you. I don't even know if we'll do the whole thing of this one because it's super fucking dumb. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go with our we're at the Glenn Beck Mr. Green Jeans action figure. Fucko has still not figured out that you don't put the title, you put the title of your book up here and your name at the bottom so that people know what book you're selling when you prop it up in front of your stupid fucking desk, which, by the way, yes, I'm totally going to invest in one of these giant touchscreens. It's going to happen. Largely just so that I can, let's see, hold on one second, if I may. Yeah, there it is. So that, hold on, let me move this out of the way. So that I can, if I want to, paint on the picture of what he's doing, just so we can distinguish the microphone from his fucking chin. I'm kidding. We'll just, how about we just do this? It's terrible. You can't even, I don't even know what that book is. Do you know what that book is? No idea. Whose show is this? Can we even tell? I mean, it's so strange. Nobody even knows anymore. Like, who is this guy? Is he like a dinner theater Colonel Sanders? I don't even see the logos anymore. Do you? No, I guess not. So that's one of the reasons why I would end up getting yeah, I fixed the Z. I didn't want that to be on there. Oh, you think it should just be like something like that. It looks like the paint from V, I have to say. Like, to some degree, it looks like it's pretty convincing as like V. We'll see. Anyways, so this is called What We Know About the Spread of Monkeypox So Far.
Pox is spreading like...
Hold on.
Monkeypox is spreading like wildfire.
No, it isn't.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
No, it isn't.
Every surface you touch is 80% monkeypox. That's science.
Okay, so let me
Also, I don't know what the fuck they're mocking here, because that hasn't been the response. Other than, everybody should be concerned about monkeypox. It's wise to be aware of it, but you don't have to change your life around it.
Let me just go through some of the articles that I read just to prepare for this show today, and I warn you, they're very, very scary. President Biden raised...
Does this guy always have sinus problems?
...alarm on Sunday about I should do this. Monkeypox. It's a viral
It's so much funnier that way. You're right.
Infection fast spreading around the world. And he warned that the disease, which can be spread as easily through handling a contaminated object, is something that everyone should be concerned about.
Yeah, it's the spread of it is up like 400%, but that's because it went from like 4 people normally get it to 28 people have gotten it, and the UK it's way worse. But one of the reasons why we have an issue and why they have an issue and why it's spreading and who it's spreading among are people who haven't gotten the measles vaccine, which covers monkeypox. And it covers a lot of these pox, including smallpox. And getting the smallpox vaccine is crucial to protecting yourself. And there's a bunch of right-wingers, like the people who listen to this dipshit show, who haven't gotten that vaccine when they travel.
Rarely seen outside of Africa, has found in recent weeks a home in Europe and the United States.
By the way, I would like to remind everyone that COVID started with 14 cases. And also, monkeypox, you have to have direct contact with someone who is symptomatic. You can't get it from someone who is not symptomatic, unlike COVID, for example.
Do you know how people have monkeypox right now in the United States?
How many people are in the United States? 330 million?
Yeah.
329 million people have monkeypox right now. Right now. You have it. If you're listening to this right now, you have it.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, this sounds like them joking pre-COVID. There were 14 people. Remember the whole Trump thing? There are 14, and they're all getting better.
Oh my gosh, I'm so worried about it.
I can see it on you. It's crawling all over you, the monkeypox.
As of Saturday, 92 cases and 28 suspected cases have been identified in 12 countries outside of the African nations where it happens all the time.
Poor Africa. They're like, it's a real panic now because it's no longer there. When it was there, we didn't seem to care about much at all because it was just hitting Africans. But now we're
no, our USAID, the CDC, the NIH, the Brits, the Europeans, they're always fighting smallpox, measles, monkeypox outbreaks in Africa. We're just like AIDS. They're always working on it. It's not, we don't not give a fuck. But Stu doesn't. That's why he doesn't think we should do foreign aid.
Very concerned about it.
There's been one confirmed case in the United States. A man in Boston was diagnosed last week, but public health officials believe case numbers are going to soon increase. And even though it's only occasionally fatal, the speed at which the monkeypox virus is spreading has raised fear of another pandemic that would further strain health services already stretched so thin because of COVID-19. And the CDC says there's no proven safe treatment for monkeypox. What are we going to do?
Oh, fucking hell. This might be the... 5 cases in Canada, 2 cases in the U.S. Belgium introduced a mandatory 21-day quarantine for monkeypox patients. Most recent surge in cases appears to have been spread among men who have had sex with other men. This is the current push of it.
Now, that's the first story. Then you get into the next story, this one from the Daily Mail. Held between May 5th and May 15th, the Gay Pride, the Canary Islands Gay Pride attraction brings visitors in from across the continent. It was attended by people who have tested positive for monkeypox.
For what?
Monkeypox.
Yeah, this is just them talking. This is like him dusting off old AIDS jokes from a long time ago. And by the way, condoms won't affect the monkeypox part of it because it's about like kissing and touching and whatever. It's just like smallpox or measles or something like that, but it's through direct contact that people get it, and it's symptomatic people. And some people have a lot of symptoms, and some people have very few symptoms, and so like this is just gross. Fuck you. Yeah, I didn't need to dive into that at all. It gave me a good reason to just get out. By the way, you're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. I'm here every day. I'll be here tomorrow, but I'll be doing the show from Los Angeles tomorrow because I am hosting the Ultimate Jam Night tomorrow night at the Whiskey, where we are celebrating the music of the UK. Britain Rocks is the theme. I'll be doing a couple of Beatles songs and a Def Leppard tune and maybe some others. We'll see. I'm always up in the back singing background vocals, whether they want me to or not. And I will be hosting the evening, and it'll be a good time. So I will be going to the gym early in the morning, and then I will be hitting the road and driving to LA, doing the show, and then turning right back around and coming back and doing my show from here Wednesday all bagged out and crazy. Unless I have meetings on Wednesday, which is possible. So anyways, I adore you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Support the show. Thanks for joining me here. And can I remind you guys, we have nothing to fear, including fear itself. Don't let these people panic you with their bullshit or make you think that, Trump's going to rise again or it's all garbage. Smile, enjoy yourselves. And if you haven't watched the Pentaveret, then I don't know what we're going to talk about when we run into each other. I hope we can chit chat about that. Anyways, can we watch the show live on Patreon? Leslie, they live stream the show and it's different for each one. They use a different service. I'll ask Chuck, who runs the thing, whether it will post or not. If not, I will get whatever songs I'll make sure we tape the songs that I do. I'll set up something this time. Since I'm hosting, I can kind of ask for special dispensation. That's cool. And I'll post them for patrons. Yep. Yes, I know the Mason plan, fear not. Okay, take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. I'll see you later. Okay, bye. I got to go feed Ethan and stuff. Okay, bye.